In the ancient times of China, the earth was still barren, with vast deserts and lofty mountains forming the main landscape of the world. Inhabiting this world was a powerful tribe of giants, of which Kuafu was a member. Unlike his clan, Kuafu was not satisfied with the simple day-to-day life. His heart was full of curiosity and longing for the unknown world. Whenever the sun rose, he would look up at the distant but brilliant light, and a bold idea sprang up in his mind: to chase the sun, find its end, and unravel the deepest secrets between heaven and earth. This idea took root in Kuafu's heart like a seed, and gradually he began to prepare for this unprecedented chase. He said goodbye to his people and set out on a journey to find the sun alone. At first, his clansmen were puzzled by his decision and even laughed at him, but Kuafu didn't care. He only had one goal in mind, which was to catch up with the sun and explore the limits of the world. Kuafu's journey was full of challenges. First, he crossed the endless desert, where the sun burned like fire and the sand was so hot that it could have cooked meat, but none of this was a problem for Kuafu. With the strength and endurance given to him by the giant race, he went ahead and kept on chasing in the direction of the sun. During this journey, Kuafu began to feel the charm and grandeur of nature, and that inner urge to pursue the unknown became stronger. As the journey progressed, Kuafu encountered more difficulties and challenges. From deserts to dense forests, and from snowy mountains to great rivers, he experienced all kinds of extreme conditions in nature. These experiences were both tests and growth for Kuafu. Each difficulty made him more determined to chase the sun, and each challenge made his mind stronger. But chasing the sun was not an easy task. The sun always seemed to be out of reach, and no matter how hard Kuafu tried, he could not seem to get closer. However, this did not frustrate Kuafu. On the contrary, it inspired in him an even stronger desire to know and explore. Kuafu began to observe the sun's path, trying to find a pattern or a rule, in order to find a way to approach the sun. After countless days and nights of unremitting efforts, Kuafu finally realized that the sun follows the same path every day. He decided to take advantage of this and planned to sprint with all his might towards the sun's final setting point at the moment when it was about to set, hoping to catch up with it before it disappeared. This decision of Kuafu was full of adventure and uncertainty, but he didn't hesitate for a second because he believed that only by constantly challenging himself could he reach his goal. As time passed, Kuafu gradually approached the setting point of the sun. His body began to feel tired like never before, and his throat felt like it was on fire, craving for moisture. But he did not stop, for he knew that once he stopped, it would mean giving up, and giving up was never an option for Kuafu. Kuafu's journey had entered its most difficult phase, when he was far from his starting point, in a completely unknown and dangerous territory. The road ahead is no longer the familiar mountains and rivers, but a proving ground of blazing sun and endless desert. The sun seemed to be hotter than ever, its dazzling light almost melting everything. Kuafu felt an unprecedented challenge, and every step forward seemed to exhaust all his strength. In the midst of this boundless heat wave, Kuafu's physical strength was gradually depleted. His huge body kept moving forward under the blazing sunlight, leaving a series of deep tracks. Sweat had long since evaporated, and his throat was so dry that it felt like it was going to split, and Kuafu felt his thirst and exhaustion like never before. But his heart was still filled with the desire for the sun and the pursuit of the unknown, and this firm will supported him to keep moving forward. Just when Kuafu had almost reached his limit, he finally saw two big sparkling rivers, the Yellow River and the Wei River, appearing in front of him. At this moment, Kuafu's heart was filled with joy and hope, and he thought he could finally relieve this unbearable thirst. So, He plunged into the rivers without thinking, hoping to quench his thirst with the cold water. Kuafu drank the river water as if his entire body had gained renewed vitality. However, as time passed, he realized that the water provided by the two rivers was far from enough to satisfy his needs. His huge body and the constant heat made this amount of moisture seem like a drop in the bucket. A hint of despair began to well up in Kuafu's heart, but he did not give up, but continued to persevere in his journey after the sun. The river water was no longer enough to satisfy Kuafu's needs, but his determination did not weaken. He stood up from the river and continued on his path of chasing the sun. As if the sun was provoking, the closer it got to dusk, the hotter it became, and each step of Kuafu became more difficult. But there was an invincible force in his heart, the pursuit of dreams and the desire for the unknown. With all his strength, Kuafu chased after the sun that was about to set. His figure appeared smaller and smaller in the light of dusk, while the footprints he left behind bear witness to the indomitable fighting spirit of a giant. However, when the last ray of sunlight disappeared into the horizon, Kuafu finally collapsed in the middle of the desert due to extreme exhaustion and dehydration. In this last moment, Kuafu's eyes were still full of desire for the sun, and there was no regret in his heart because he had done his best. The fall of Kuafu marked the end of this epic chase. His body gradually turned into a huge mountain range, while his will and spirit remained in this world forever. The sun continues to rise and set every day, but the story of Kuafu inspires those who come after him, reminding them that they should never give up their pursuit and exploration, no matter what challenges they face. Although Kuafu did not reach the sun, his spirit of chasing his dream became a legend through time and space. The story of Kuafu soon spread on Earth, and his courage and determination inspired countless people. Although Kuafu did not catch up with the sun, his pursuit of his dream and his courage to take on challenges became a model for all brave explorers in later generations. Kuafu Mountain became a sacred place where people would come to honor the great sun chaser and remind people that they should never give up pursuing and exploring even when faced with seemingly impossible goals. Though the story of Kuafu is a tragedy, his spirit is eternal. He tells us that the meaning of life lies not only in reaching the destination, but also in the journey that is full of challenges and unknowns. With his actions, Kuafu proved that even in the face of desperate situations, human beings have the ability to transcend themselves and move towards the light. The story of Kuafu chasing the sun became a symbol of mankind's relentless pursuit of knowledge, truth and ideals. His image, glittering in history, reminds each and every one of us that no matter what difficulties we face, we should maintain our courage and keep moving forward.